Hey, Pika Pika, everybody. This is Pika Man. I'm coming to you right now.
Pika Pika Man is holding Matt and I hostage.
That's right. They tried to catch me, y'all, but I caught them first. Now they're in my dungeon. But before we get
You
to
call it your
festivities,
Pokeball.
we're gonna talk about 30 coins. So here we go, everybody. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, we're here to talk about 30 coins. This was Man Baby Spider Matt's suggestion, and thank you for that suggestion because this is a wonderful show.
It's
This is a
amazing.
wonderful show.
I'm glad. I'm just glad. I mean, I get how it is when, people are like, you got to see this, man. It's really good. And, my brain is just like, I don't have capacity. I'm dealing with other shit, whatever. I had heard about it on a podcast years ago now, and we were just looking for something to watch. It was pandemic times. It's like, all right, sure. And then I watched that first episode, and it was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it comes on strong.
It does.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just glad that you both took a chance on it and that it hit for you. Because
how would you describe it? Like, what would be your elevator pitch to people who are tuning in and are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Ooh.
I can only. I mean, and I'll let you guys go first on that because
Pika Man, you want to go first?
Well, actually, I think that this is a good dose of Catholic horror revolving all around the search for the 30 pieces of silver that Judas Iscariot was received from snitching on Jesus.
Snitching on Jesus is the name of my EP that came out. All right.
No, I mean, yeah, you can go for it, Ben.
I would say it's a cult horror, Spanish language. It's definitely got a mystery to it. It's kind of X-Files-esque as far as episodic, but there's an overarching plot.
Yeah. Very much Indiana Jones like quest for a MacGuffin.
Yeah, there's a little bit of kind of that, Buffy Monster of the Week, but at the same time we have this plot running in the background that's to the big bad. And the big bad, much like it is in real life, is the Catholic Church.
Yeah, you're not lying. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. How far have you guys watched?
I'm 3 episodes in.
Yeah, okay. I was watching last night. I think I got into 5, and then I started rewatching today just to like refresh my memory and got back through 3. So I've got very solid of 1 through 3.
It's like I should have watched this earlier because I've watched so much horror in the last 26 days that there's a lot of things where I'm like, did that horrific kill happen in this movie or did it happen in this movie? Because
I'm trying to remember which episode 3 because we watched rewatched
Mirrors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the mirror. Oh,
that was wow! How inventive was that? I was loving that.
I love how they do it, and I think the first season's 8 episodes.
About that, yeah,
8 or 10. I want to say
season 2 just came out like yesterday, and I think they've only got 1 episode out so far.
I gotta say I do have some quibbles with it. They're not big quibbles, but I would say like the mayor is one of the most frustrating characters because you're like, oh, this is a good dude. Like he's just a straight up good guy, but he's also dumb as a box of rocks.
Yep.
He's extremely gullible, and yet, even though he's seeing these horrific things, he can't believe it. No, that's not true. That's not what happened. You're crazy.
He doesn't want him to be. And no, I love Paco. Paco's great. Yeah. Paco gets his shit rocked in almost every episode.
Yeah, he gets messed up a lot.
He's racking up injuries quite a bit.
But as the season progresses, he started off. I'm like, yeah, this guy's kind of a doofus, and he grew on me a bunch.
I love his.
That's fair.
Would you call this like an ensemble cast? Since we kind of have like three
it really is
that kind of work together, but kind of don't.
They're often at odds.
Yeah, that relationship grows and develops. One thing that I really liked about especially the earlier episodes, is Father Vergara essentially just
gaslighting the shit out of everybody. Yeah,
Elena especially. But
Elena, to me, Elena is, if for nothing else, I would come back for Elena, because Elena is just like,
you're gonna enjoy
badass
motherfucker.
I need to know the truth. And now, after seeing guys she was kind of involved with get iced, I got a feeling that's gonna be triple down now. It's like,
yeah.
And that was also a weird thing. They I'm sorry, Matt, I'm just stepping all over your touchdown.
No, especially in the earlier episodes, Father Vergara is just gaslighting the hell out of her, but it's because he knows, like, he's trying to protect her.
But he gave her the thing that would
but he didn't realize it at the time. He should have suspected it was more than it was. Yeah. But
so as frustrating as Paco, as frustrating as I get with Paco, the thing I do like about all three characters is they are realistically dumb. Like there's shit they just don't get, and it's not like they can go consult a tome, that will tell them, will give you exposition drop. It's like they just don't know. Yeah. So they don't know what they don't know, and they make dumb mistakes. And I find that to like be very refreshing.
Yeah.
I love, like, in the first episode, Paco is all like, nah, I'm the mayor. I cannot be doing this at all. Come on, I've got an image. Like, let's wait this out. We'll call in the morning.
Yeah, I'm up for re-election. Perhaps you haven't heard.
He's a really nice guy. He really wants to help everybody, but also he's not kind of trying to cheat on his wife.
Yeah. Especially that first episode.
If that was straight up like, hey, Elena.
Yeah.
It's not, but and that also develops. But
and his wife is horrific.
She's
and that also that
I can already tell. Like, yeah, I was already like, oh, she gonna be a bad guy going forward. Like, spoilers.
And that is where things go. But you also see how, like, she didn't necessarily need to go that route, and it's just like the fact that Paco's kind of a doofus, and that she's just shitty. She's just shitty enough.
That's
that's what I didn't get to. Like, why isn't she mayor?
Oh, and she's so more ambitious than he
wants all the power.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's like a Spanish,
machismo,
like we don't want a female mayor. We got to elect a dude, especially in this small town. And that's the other thing that I really appreciate about the series, as it goes, because it is very much confined to this one village, and all these characters that kind of cycle through in the background kind of like become prominent in certain points of the story, and then so you get some of that story. Like there's a bit in, if I'm remembering it right, and granted it's been a couple of years since I watched the series, but there's a bit in the first episode that gains a ton of extra meaning when you get to a later episode. Because rewatching the second time, I'm like, wait a second, did the guy who just said that shit, is he the guy from the later episode that did that thing? And I'm like, I think it is. Oh shit.
So, and I haven't got this far into it, but I'm just curious, and more so just your thoughts, because I don't think any of us know. Maybe Matt does. Is this alluding to this idea then that this shit is going on simultaneous around the world, like these looking for this? So we're just seeing one of those coins, because at the very beginning of the first episode, when shit pops off, you're like, oh fuck, is this whole show gonna be this?
Like, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, they got one coin that we know.
Open.
But yeah, that was 29 other coins out there. Where are they in the shit that's going down?
Yeah.
So the one thing that did disappoint me as the series progressed is that they already have most of them.
Oh,
So you don't see a lot more of that, like, oh, here's, but there's some of it, but they already have a good chunk of them.
Yeah.
Because I think it was only a few went missing, or they've been looking for them for, 2,000 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And trying to gather them. But then you start to figure out what they want them for and what they're going to do.
Yeah, we still don't know that. Although I do
Right.
fucking love the opening little montage for the credits.
That's the wildest credits I've
I'm like,
seen
oh
so
damn,
long.
they're going for it. They're going hard.
They're going for it. Well,
bloody
just
face Jesus laughing.
Yeah,
like,
Jesus laughing. Like,
wow.
you done fucked up.
Like, yeah, he done fucked up, Judas. And then Judas realized it, looking up and being like, oh shit.
Oh, see, because I took it like Jesus like laughing, like my plan's going to fruition.
I mean, that could be it too. Yeah, I guess he doesn't really seem like the sort of.
Yeah,
because I feel like my interpretation, and just with my own feelings on religion, being a Catholic school kid.
Are you a recovering Catholic?
I am a recovering Irish Catholic, my friend.
Oh, geez.
Irish Roman Catholic.
I'm going to be very curious on your perspective as the series progresses.
Yeah,
to more about how you feel about that.
I'm so into this. Like, this is just
right, but I mean, you've got more of that background. Like, some of the stuff they talk about, I had heard about because I read fucking like Grant Morrison comics and shit. But like Danny, my wife, she was raised religious. She went to fucking. She's got a minor in Bible studies.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Cool. College, so like she can walk the walk when it comes to that shit. And so her perspective on all of this stuff, like for me, it's like, oh yeah, I see this video on the internet of the whitest man in the world rapping about Christian side hugs, and I laugh. And she sees it and laughs, but is also like, yeah, there's a lot like this stuff really fucked me up and still kind of does.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot
coming
of
at it so much. Like, I can look at it and be like, okay, yeah, here's just this story or whatever, and I don't have like the grounding of having actually experienced it from the side where I believe any of it.
Yeah, and like, hey, Mitch. Yeah, dude. Like, as someone who like stone cold like believed in this at one point in my life, and like, and Catholicism is so much into like the magic and pageantry side of things. Like,
it's the D&D of.
It's so D&D. It's like, we got to light these candles and do this, and this is the prayer. Get your medallions. We're really going out, guys.
There is defined bad guys like to go fight.
Mitch, I sent that to Colin earlier. He didn't know what it was, but I totally did.
I'm learning new things every day. I'm a growing Pika.
So
don't ever say those words.
Catholicism is the Ronnie James Dio of religions.
Yeah, dude. It's you got your like priests are like superhero, like The Exorcist.
Down too long in the Midnight Sea.
Yeah, like The Exorcist. When I saw that hit me almost like a documentary, because like I saw that at like 9, and I was still so far into like the church stuff, and I was just like, this is legit, and like, so like this is like hits me so hard.
In the first episode with Vergara accidentally killing that kid.
That like rings so true to like real life exorcisms, like when they go wrong and just kids, like people just dying because, I mean, well, obviously these people are people in the throes of like extreme mental illness, and then you got these guys who are just so hopped up on whatever they're doing that they end up hurting these people so severely.
Up on Jesus.
Yeah. But like, like that just to get back to that opening, like that hit me so hard, like, because like you got the Romans all with like the white demon eyes and everything like that.
Eyes, yeah.
Jesus is like getting off on like being up there, and like in that moment, I think when he's laughing, I feel like Judas, for me, being the recovering Catholic I am, it's like, oh, he realized what a fucking pawn he is in this whole cycle, because like even like there's a whole moment where Jesus is like, you're gonna betray me, you're gonna do this shit. And Judas is like, what the fuck? No, I'm not. And then like goes and does it. So it's, the whole, it's it got me.
I mean, when you come at it like that too, just even, and it is kind of portrayed that way, like
Mm-hmm.
Like, so Jesus knew he was going to do all this stuff and let him do it anyway.
Yeah. It's when you really think and apply logic to it.
Like,
it's such a twisted story. It really is when you sit down to think about it. But yeah, and just like there's so much of this, like I don't know, like the just like it feels like
a really cool setting.
Yeah.
It feels. I like how everything feels very deliberate.
Yeah.
In terms of, like you're getting just these little, like they came into it. They're like, this is our story. We're going to give you these slices of it. It's not like
they bleed you.
Yeah.
At least, I'll be curious with season 2 whether they hold to it, because
Paul Giamatti's in it. What?
To compare it to like other stuff, like the first, I don't want to go the Westworld way, where it's like, okay, we ran out of stuff. The fact that it was like 3 years between seasons on this still makes me feel like they're going into it, and the first season does end with like, okay, here's like we could do another season based off of this.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they knew that was going to happen. So I'm hoping the fact that it took a while between seasons meant that, like, whatever they're doing for season 2, they're like, okay, we know, like, it's gonna work out. And I loved in the first episode
setting,
that the setting's super. It's just a super interesting setting,
and
I don't know Spain super well, so it's cool to get that slice of it. But I also like in the first episode when Father Vergara is gaslighting Elena. Most of the episode, we don't know whether this shit is real. And actually happening.
They do the whole. He's like when
once they crack that door, though, it's like, oh no, just like this is all fucking happening.
So we should that point. Like, should we like go through like a beat by beat of the first episode a little bit? Like,
I think that's probably warranted.
We open up like with a bang. We're in Geneva, Switzerland, and you see this unassuming, maybe he's a businessman, you don't really know, kind of an older gentleman just strolling through, walks in this building, just starts popping people left and right.
Fucking John Woo.
Indiscriminately, people are filling him full of holes, and it's having no effect. He gets into this vault and throwing money aside, don't care about that. He sees some old like scrolls, whatever, and then finds this coin, goes back out, shoots more people. The cops are like, what the fuck?
They just unload into him too.
Yeah, he just walks right through them. It's just like, fuck.
Yeah. Gets in the back of this.
He doesn't even bother to shoot a bunch of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When he steps out, like a bunch of them are sitting there and they're like, bup, and like they see no effect, and then he just strolls on through. And in the coldest move, there's one cop who's then like, hey, freeze, and he shoots him. The other cops are just still like, and then he gets in the back of this limousine, and all of a sudden, like, you get a real sense that this guy's not really in the driver's seat of his own body.
He gets into this limo, and the whole inside of the limo is covered in plastic sheets.
Yes. Oh, that's such.
And there's. I'm trying to remember the guy. Yeah, he's dressed like a priest
with the creepy glasses on.
He's got sunglasses on. He's got the priest collar, and he reaches over.
Isn't the priest collar red though?
It might be.
Yeah.
He's a priest though.
Yeah, he's some person that has ties to each other.
The bank robber has this necklace on with like a little orb, like a metal, charm or whatever,
which we'll see later.
The priest grabs it and just yanks it off, and as soon as he yanks it off, the guy just slumps over. So I mean, I'm pretty sure he was just a zombie the whole time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then breaks the guy's grip.
Oh yeah, he's like, "Where's the coin?" He searches his jacket and he can't find this coin. And then it's in his hand. He just breaks his fingers.
Yeah.
Grab that coin out of there.
And then we smash cut to a baby coming out of a cow.
Yes. Yes.
And that fucking baby.
Well, a cow giving birth.
Yeah. A cow is giving birth, and out comes what, for all intent and purposes, looks like a human child, a perfectly
baby. It's a human baby. A human baby comes out of that cow, and everybody's like, "Whoa, that's really weird. We should call the mayor."
And then the good old Father Vergara. That's my favorite part where he's like, "Nah, they switched it. You guys weren't seeing."
Yeah, you can see the part right here in the video where the camera goes away.
It's a trick they're pulling on you, and it's like,
there's a guy who's there's a vet there. There's like a bunch of farm workers there, and they're filming on their phones this cow giving birth, and she's like, "Yeah, I told you it was in there wrong or whatever. This is going to be typical."
and this is when we're introduced to Elena, our probably the most legit hero.
Yeah,
I'd say of the trio.
Yeah.
Although I love when Vergara's doing body blows to that old lady, but that comes later.
Yeah, Elena is a veterinarian.
Mm-hmm. Father Vergara ain't afraid to hit a kid. So I mean,
that
when he's hitting that body bag, he's just like, say something. Say something.
So this and the mayor, Paco, he also runs like, does he? He's
an abattoir. Just started an abattoir, which is just like slaughterhouse, basically.
Yeah. Him and his wife like have a number of businesses in the town. Mm-hmm. Essentially, they're like one of the big, employers.
Which comes back in the second episode because that other guy. There's the rivalry there of him like being rich and his family having a castle. And he's like, I don't want to be married anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, Roque.
And Roque had also run for mayor.
Yeah.
And lost to Paco.
Yeah.
But they were getting ready to do elections again.
Yes.
Like in a month or something.
Was like, no. He's like, fuck it. No, I'm leaving town. And you should come with me, Elena, because I'm hot and rich.
Do you guys get?
I think it was both those things.
The sense that, like, while Roque is definitely much a playboy of his own means, that like Paco's, like his wife probably has the largesse of their.
It seems like she's like,
because he seems so differential to her, and like when they talk, and like he puts himself down so much to her.
And he says, because he's like, I've got to go, like, deal with this, and she's like, I need you here, and he's like, no, I have to help the people of the town. They look to me for advice, and she's like, but I need you here, and he's like, you're the one who pushed me into politics.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I get the impression he's a kept man.
Yeah, he's a very pretty guy.
Yeah, he was like big king shit high school guy, and she was like, you're gonna be my husband, and he was like, I guess, sure.
Yeah, I think he's if I don't know how much of his past we get, but I think it is just a lot of like, either he was never really, like, again, very, very beautiful man.
He's a like almost too handsome dude.
Yeah, when he first had his shirt off, I was just like, whoa, what? Like, he's so jacked, it was like distracting.
Yeah, it feels like he's just like, oh yeah, this is just Spanish Chris Hemsworth or Spanish Brad Pitt or whatever.
He's soap opera hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Telenovela hot.
Yeah, telenovela hot.
He's like, it just feels like he probably never really had to try, and so. Like, he never really thought about what he was going to do. Mm-hmm. So when Merche, his wife, came along, or however they met, I don't know, and it was just like, hey, I've got plans, and let's do some stuff. And, and he's like, all right, I didn't really have anything better going on.
Yeah,
and then
he's very affable.
At some point, she's just like, hey, if you were mayor, you could sign the permits so we could build our slaughterhouse and our hotel and all this stuff. And he's like, all right, whatever, I'll run for mayor. I don't care.
Yeah.
But now once he's in the role, it really does seem like he's like, wait, I have a duty to these people. Because he's always like, for a mayor, and it's a small village, but for a mayor, he's like real, like the people are calling him on a cell phone, like with like, hey, I need help with my kid or whatever, and which is wild.
Have they mentioned anything about his father yet?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Because I started to think like maybe his dad was like also like a big helpy guy and just kind of falling into this role.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever find out much about his family in the first season.
Okay.
Roque, his rival, we find out that his dad was like he mentions in passing that his dad was like the Lord or whatever.
Oh yeah, because the guy calls him Lord, and he's like, no, that was my father.
That was my father. You know, he's got a fucking castle.
Yeah, I did. They set Rogue up for. This is the thing I like they do on this show is they're like, hey, here's the 2-dimensional version of this person, and then they kind of swerve you a little bit. Like I was all prepared to be like, what a shit bag, and then in the end, I was like, oh man, not Rogue.
You know, another character they kind of do that with is
it's not a combination slaughterhouse and hotel, like 2 separate businesses.
Yeah, it's not Motel Hell.
The kid that works at the bar with the curly mop of hair, he's like slapping waitress asses. I'm like, oh, what a skis.
What a douche, yeah.
And then after all that shit happens with the seance in episode 2, like I'm like, okay, I feel for you guys. Like this is
or in the first episode with the dad, and he's super pissed off that he's like, oh, he thinks his daughter is you know, having sex with her boyfriend, and he's super pissed about it. And you know, they're just like, oh, we got to figure out where this baby came from. Maybe it was hers, and she didn't want anybody to know she was pregnant.
That dad was scary.
Yeah,
the dad was scary. But then, like, when it turns out she actually is pregnant, and her water breaks, and all of a sudden he's just like, you fucking ambulance people, you got to take care of her. She's my daughter. Be gentle. Blah blah blah. Now
he goes from threatening her to threatening them.
He's still an asshole. But it's like, okay, no, he does love her. He just doesn't do it in a good way.
I think sometimes maybe that's a cultural difference as well.
Yeah. Cultural
also,
stuff
you know,
also the fact that everybody's
urban.
just smoking cigarettes the whole time.
I think, especially in European Catholicism, women definitely are, you know, here too, even with any religion, I think women are very much you're either the Madonna or the whore. And it's always constantly like, oh, this is my so that dad's like, this is my little baby. But first he's like, oh, you know, fuck, are you getting pregnant and all that shit? You know, it's just like, so yeah, it's a weird, it's just a weird. There's so many strange qualities to gender roles and stuff, especially in these hyper masculine cultures, which I think it would be fair to say that this little town definitely traffics.
Well, I mean, it's Elena, you know, the fact that her husband just left.
Oh my God, yeah.
She's completely ostracized for. She did nothing wrong.
Nothing. And everyone's like, oh, your husband left you?
Yeah,
you're gonna that's gonna come up again.
Yeah.
Later in the season. But and I do like that they, you know, I wouldn't say they upend those stereotypes, but they do chip away at them a little bit.
They do.
Because Elena is, you know, definitely like,
she's the most capable, I'd say.
Yeah, she absolutely is. And Paco is like, gets stabbed with the scissors and falls down the stairs and then gets tied up. Like, and shit like that happens to him later too. Like he just gets fucked up like over and over and over again.
I think it feels kind of like there's a slight like inverse of gender roles in that respect. Like, Paco's kind of the final girl.
Yeah.
Between those two, like she's the protagonist.
Oh my God! Well, yeah, no, because my favorite part, and this is totally what I do, is when they go to find the baby, and
let's catch up on the recap a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, yeah.
It's like they have this baby. Yeah. It's born in this cattle barn essentially, and the woman who her and her husband, it's their farm. She's like, oh, I'll take care of this baby while we figure out what to do with it. So she's got the baby, and they go to Father Vergara, who's this new priest in town that they sent from Rome or whoever to replace the last guy. Mm-hmm. And
do we find out like, the last guy?
I think he just I can't remember if we do or not. We don't in this episode.
Okay. Sure. I knew that
for the first couple. But so he's here. And no, they're not quite sure about him yet. And I can't remember if this is where we first meet Antonio. Like the essentially the village idiot.
No, we meet him. He and Vergara have a few little interactions, and then when we really see him,
he shows them where the little hidden compartment.
It's when we get some Michael Jackson baby dangling happen.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Which I love. That scene was so beautifully shot. It looked like something from a Universal Monsters movie.
Yeah,
I was like, this is amazing.
Father Vergara is like, oh, this baby is like this was just somebody who wanted to get rid of a baby.
Yeah.
Like this you can see here in the video where the camera goes away. This, somebody swapped in their baby, and they're like, well, why would anybody, do that? And and he's like, that's the most rational explanation. Like, how does that make less sense than a cow giving birth to a human baby?
Yeah, and he presents himself as like the complete skeptic. Like, this is like, come on, folks.
And so they're looking into. They're like, okay, well then if that's true, we've got to figure out where this baby came from. Mm-hmm. So they go out to this they see this girl, and they're like, oh, maybe it was her. She hasn't been in school for a week. Mm-hmm. She's got all these pictures on Facebook with this guy. And then so they go out there, and the dad's like, oh, are you, you're a whore, blah, 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 blah. And it turns out that she's like, I'm not pregnant. She doesn't look pregnant. And they're like, okay, fine. And then as they're about to leave, like, her water breaks. And it's like, okay, she is pregnant, but it can't be her baby because she hasn't had the baby yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we move away from that. And I think then from there it goes to Antonio has taken the baby.
Yep.
So Antonio's, and he is like, we got to kill this fucking baby. This, like, it's no good. We need to do this. This will, like, save the world. Come on. And he is talked down, and
he climbs up to the top of
he's on top. Yeah. Very almost like
church, and he's ready to throw the baby off
completely. He's dangling that baby. Then Elena convinces him, like, just don't do it.
I've always been good to you. Mm-hmm. You don't want to hurt that baby. Remember
that baby when I took you.
Yeah.
Remember when I helped you when your dog broke its leg,
and the
way that dog looked at you when it was hurt. You don't want to hurt that baby. And he's like, no, I don't. And then gives her the baby.
And then he turns to. This is so wild. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what he says, but maybe you do.
He's basically like, I'm doing this to absolve you of your sins.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you fucked up, so I have to do this now. And like, and he says it in almost a very obviously he doesn't say it in that context, but like,
right,
it's very accusatory.
Yes, he is angry. And then he throws himself.
You dropped the ball. You were supposed to deal with this. That's your job. And he jumps off the fucking roof.
Oh.
And lands on the roof of a police van.
Not dead.
No, you're like, oh shit. And
I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
They do that a bunch of times. But he is not dead. He ends up in the hospital, and they're talking to him. They're like, dude, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And they find this book in he lives in like a cave.
Yeah.
Like down the cliffs in the city. And so it's like he's always been like there, but like they take care of him, but they don't, kind of, the village.
Yeah, I get the sense that he kind of gets by maybe on odd jobs and charity a little bit, It
seems like a lot of charity, and he said that he had said that he was friends with the previous priest.
Yeah,
and there is a little bit of a scene we did skip that over that because after this all kind of kicks off, and then Father Vergara's like, no, you don't have to worry about any of this shit. It's all a lie. We do see Father Vergara hauling in these two like metal crates into the church, and then Antonio is kind of like spying on him from the shadows, and he opens up these crates, and they're just full of fucking guns.
Yeah,
it's
just he's got secrets,
and then Antonio is like makes a noise or whatever, he reveals himself, and the priest is like, because he like, Antonio looks in there and sees the guns, and Father Vergara's like, we got to keep this secret, and he's like, okay, and then shows him this like secret compartment where the Catholic I
think it's the sacristy
priests used to hide back when in like the but they used to hide in there when the government would come in back when Catholics were persecuted. Mm-hmm. So he's like, cool, I'm going to turn this into my fucking
armory,
bat cave. Yeah. Father Vergara is he's bald, he's got a giant bushy beard, he's got fucking tattoos, and is jacked to shit, and we see him just beating the shit out of these heavy bags and sweating, and he's got an arsenal. And So they're like, okay, they find, so yeah, they're like, okay, we got to figure out what the hell possessed Antonio to do this. They go down to his little cave, they find a book, and in the book has all these rites, like these Catholic rites, and it's Latin. And so, because when he was up ready to throw the baby off, he's shouting all this shit in Latin. And
it just starts speaking Latin. Yeah,
which is funny because they mentioned they didn't even think he could read.
Yeah, and they find out that, and he probably can't.
Yeah.
But the book belonged to Father Vergara, and they're like, oh no, he stole it from the sacristy. But now they're like, oh, we got to find out more about this Father Vergara guy. And that's when we find out that Father Vergara did time. He was in prison because during an exorcism, the person he was exorcising had a heart attack and died. This teenage kid, Giacomo,
who comes back in a way I was not expecting.
We see more Giacomo. Giacomo, recurs as a theme. I mean, he killed him. And we see, we find out about this, that during the Father Vergara is like, oh yeah, when people believe that they're possessed, they'll do all kinds of crazy stuff.
So you have to meet their reality.
Yeah, it's like they'll eat dirt or pieces of metal or coins or all this stuff, and that's kind of teeing that off. Because Father Vergara has a coin that looks the same as the one that the zombie guy stole at the beginning of the episode.
And I think we find out how he gets it.
We find out how he got it.
We do.
Wild.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how he did it, but I remember where what happened, and it shows that it's during the exorcism, and this kid is just freaking out, thrashing around. You're bastards, and his whole family is on the other side of the room, waiting for Father Vergara to exorcise this demon. And up his arm, you see this shape, and then just this coin comes out of his wrist.
Yeah,
and then the kid dies. And Father Vergara's like, well, put this coin in my pocket. And at some point there, he went to jail. Yeah. We do get some more of that as the series progresses.
Yeah, I was really intrigued, how they were going to handle that, because
I might be
the Catholic Church would probably have some say in that.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. It's just especially how the Catholic Church runs, the
crimes
to do legitimately, but with as far as exorcisms go, you have to vet that shit hard fucking core before they will send anyone out. So they would have been so heavily involved with this would have been they would have had many people come visit this kid, even church appointed psychologists and stuff that work with the Catholic Church. So that's a little, maybe it's a very forgivable stretch that he would be able to be
I thought they didn't allow them to do those without two priests being there.
Yeah. Just because
it was more a check, they do it basically like HRs do it. You need someone else there to confirm you're doing shit correctly.
Yeah, and I can't remember if that comes up or not, because we do get some of Father Vergara's time in seminary, and he's kind of he comes into things from a different approach than a lot of people do, and some of the people he meets and the experience he has are pretty wild.
Yeah,
but so yes. Anyway, we found out he's got the coin, so they're like, okay, let's go. I'm trying to remember is that the point when, because Elena's suspicious of him because they find out about his past, I think, but they want to go see what the baby's up to.
Yeah, Elena goes to see the baby, and
this is where I introduced to fucking nightmare fuel. Oh my god!
Just the noises alone were
fucking good. Though.
Yeah. Yes.
This is where the show totally had me. When I saw that little baby creature in the corner, and you don't get a good look, but just enough of a look, I was just I got just the worst chills run up my spine. It was just
and when you get
and he's 4 foot tall, and he walks, and he's
and this is 2 days later.
Yeah, I'm making weird noises, and I was oh no.
Yeah, so this baby is now 4 feet tall, and it's being looked after by this older,
but it's still got baby proportions.
But still got baby pony.
Yeah. Oh, just hard to look
It's
at.
real.
And the subtitles are like
Visually
it's just babbling
challenging.
incoherently, and that's somehow the subtitles being like incoherent babbling.
Yeah.
That made it like, what do you mean? And then later it changes to demonic babbling. It's just like, oh no.
But yeah, so this
Wasn't there something about its eyes too? Its eyes were weird.
They're like clouded over or weird. Yeah, and its face was kind of funky too.
Yeah, it had a mean.
Yeah. We see this baby, and then we start to find out that this couple had
lost a child.
They had lost a child. They had a 2-year-old, and it drowned in their pool.
Yes.
And they blamed themselves for it. And this guy's wife has never really recovered, and now she's like, God gave us a second chance with this new baby. That's what this was for.
And you find out like
she's like, you cannot take my baby. You will not take my baby.
This to her, God. When we first are introduced with her and the baby, you get the strong sense that she is of the mind that God has given them a second chance and brought this baby down. You can tell the trauma that they've gone through, as the room that this baby is in is their child's room, and it's been
and they're probably in like their 60s at least.
Yes, they're an elderly couple.
And their baby was only 2, so this room has been left untouched for probably 30 years. At least.
Jesus, Mitch. That's dark, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Elena's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This baby is way too big. She goes into town and is like, hey, Mayor
this baby
Paco,
too big.
Yeah, Paco, we got to do something.
We got to do something
while
about this baby. He's like, okay, we'll call social services in the morning. It's fine.
That was another thing that pissed me off so much was if someone was coming to me and she's like, hey, baby,
yeah,
baby, making noises that humans don't make. Like, we need to fucking call somebody, and no one. And Paco's like, hey, wait.
You want to call him now? It's late.
Paco's like, it's so late. Come on. He's like, I can't be doing this.
He's still got Merche, his wife, in his ear, you know, and she's like, we don't want to make waves, we don't want to draw attention, like this could cost us our businesses or whatever. So I think there's still some of that. And then also like, yeah, okay, there's weird shit going on, but that's like extra, like that's too weird. Like I don't want to believe it, so I'm not gonna deal with it right now. But she's like, no, okay, fine, I'm gonna go out there.
Yeah.
And he's like,
while this has happened, we have a brief
scene with you, but
back with this elderly couple where the husband is hey, you don't seem like you're in your right mind, honey. Come on, we got to stop this. That's not our baby. That doesn't look
he's like she she's like,
and she shows him
the like, oh, where were you?
Little toy.
Like, she's like, oh, I was just making food for the baby. He's growing so fast.
Oh god.
Liver, and she's just mixing up fucking liver and milk in a blender into like this smoothie to give to this baby. And she's got this weird toy that looks like freaking what's his name, the bad kid from Toy Story.
It looks like something that Sid would have made. And like it's like a collection of wires, like wires and springs and like broken up doll body parts,
like a baby doll head, and it's real fucking weird.
And then while the husband is like trying to be like as calm and loving and sensitive as possible, the wife is just like, you're not going to take my baby from me, and just takes the dude out. Yes. Yeah. There's that great fight where Elena first shows up with, and the woman has the knitting needles, and she points it right at Elena's chest.
She just like taps her right on Elena's chest, is like, this is my baby.
It's so menacing though. No
witnesses.
So we see her stab her husband. He falls down the stairs.
Then he becomes part of the drink.
We don't.
He becomes a husband smoothie.
You don't think
implied,
he does?
We don't.
I don't know. Yeah. It's very heavily implied.
Oh, I think he totally does.
She's all
So
it's wild. It's so wild.
Elena and Paco then go back to the house, and they're walking up the front steps, and through the picture window, it's just like it's yarn hanging everywhere, and it looks like spider webs, and they're just both like, oh shit.
Yeah. It looks like the spider gremlin from Gremlins 2 was weaving yarn webs all throughout this.
Yeah, it's just yarn webs everywhere.
And there happens to be this
at least the liver, Mitch.
Human proportionate shape that's in the middle of the living room. And when Paco goes to investigate, we find the husband has his body's been cocooned and
tied up in this yarn like he's been cocooned by a spider.
Like legit, yeah. Oh god.
And so they go upstairs. She's up there. She's like, "It's still, you're not gonna take my baby." And they're like, we gotta do something here, and then so she attacks them.
Yeah,
we don't see the baby at
this
point.
Calm about all of it.
It just comes
super calm. And I think they call the cops. Oh yeah, because Elena gets away, but so they stab, like she stabs Elena. She stabs Paco. He falls down the stairs, like face first.
Those are nasty stairs to fall down. I was like, oh, those poor stuntmen.
She's like, I'm, oh, my baby does what I tell him to. And she pulls out the little doll and she moves its leg. And when she moves its leg, you hear from upstairs just boom, like boom.
And by this time, you're not hearing baby cries anymore. It's falling like,
no.
Yeah.
Go away. So they take out Paco. Elena's like, I got to get away. She's trying to get Paco to come with her. They both just fell down the stairs. They got stabbed. And Elena gets away. Paco's still in there. So Elena immediately, she's like driving away. She's calling the cops, but then actually runs into the cops and Father Vergara coming the other way. And she's like, we have to do something about this. And they go there. They turn around. They go back to the house. They're looking through the window. Now Paco's cocooned up. And
yes.
I actually thought he was going to end up being dead at that point. I was like, holy fuck, they're going to kill this guy.
Especially when, I love that she just fucking books it out of there. It's like, screw this.
He told me to leave.
So the cops and Father Vergara are trying to talk this lady down, and she starts talking to Father Vergara in a voice that is not hers.
And she's very familiar with him.
Yes,
all of a sudden, on a whole new level.
Yep, she's like, "Oh yeah, it's been a while and all this stuff."
Yeah, and we've been looking for you. It's always and you see a change in Father Vergara's demeanor all of a sudden. He's
and so she's kind of getting kind of threatening and goes for her scissors or knitting needles or whatever. And the one cop is just he's just like, well, shit, and unloads and shoots her 4 or 5 times.
It's the chief of police is not playing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that guy does not fuck around. No.
And there's just a fist fight a little bit there too, I think.
Yeah, she kicks the shit out of Vergara.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's where he's like.
She's throws him around the room, and then he just fucking opens up on her.
Yeah, and she's picking him up. And they have, I think they have 2 tussles, don't they?
Maybe.
Yeah, they have a couple fist fights because there's one in the church too.
Yes.
Well, yes, because I remember here she does the fucking full on Undertaker, and and after getting shot or beat up or whatever, so the baby's missing. She gets shot a bunch. Paco
baby's missing, but what's left behind is
that was genuinely creepy as fuck.
Remember the human skin that Elena finds?
Oh yeah, there's Father Vergara is up in the baby's room, and the skylight is open.
And Father Vergara he's still gone back to stonewalling her. He's like, what? You think a monster crawled?
Yeah, you're hallucinating, and then she's like,
this could be called 30 coins, the gaslighting. Because there's so much gaslighting goes on.
Episode 1 should be called gaslighting.
But yeah, she's just like, what about this full ass fucking baby skin? And he's like, don't do this.
Don't embarrass yourself.
Because once your mind, your window of perception is open, you can't fucking close it.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because at a point I was like, is this how this show's gonna be? If you think it's there, it's there. And then you have Vergara who's walking between it all. And then it would turn out, no, it's just, he's a gaslighting son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think there is a little bit of that where it's like the more you believe in it, the more power it has over you. Because we do see a little bit of that in episode 2, where Soleil is able to like drive them out of her head.
Yeah.
That's
and
and
stop them
also
from controlling her.
the charm itself seems to give the baby some kind of energy and power because from here is this where we get into the confrontation at the church after
there's the ambulance route first.
First there's the ambulance, and then something attacks the ambulance.
Yeah.
And just knocks the shit out of it, and everybody's there on the side of the road, and this
Paco gets fucked up again.
Yeah. And his wife shows up and is like, no, just stay here. Like this
and she gets fucked up.
Yeah, everybody's getting fucked up. The woman comes back again.
Yeah.
And takes off. Oh, that's it. No, the thing that attacks the ambulance takes her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, my son came for me.
My son came for me.
Yeah.
You can't keep a mother and her son apart.
You can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
mother love.
So Father Vergara is in the sacristy in the church. And he's in. Elena shows up, and he's like, "Oh, it's time to go gun priest." So he's getting ready. He's getting ready to get strapped up, and then the woman shows up and is like, "You need to give us what we're after." And he's like, "I don't know what you want." And she's
and
like,
"Yes, you do." That was interesting. Is they just assume he knows, and he's fucking with them, and he has no idea.
He has no idea because he had the coin. He gave it to Elena. He's like, "It's just a piece of metal."
Yeah, I'm done with that. A part of my life's over.
Yeah, I don't want any of this stuff anymore. So yeah, it's a full they get into a fist fight. She's using fucking force powers to fling pews around.
Oh yeah.
And
it's like a poor man's They Live fight, which I'm here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, between a priest and a very old lady. It's old priest.
Father Vergara goes over to the fount and drops his bullets in.
Oh,
and then
that's awesome. Because she's talking shit the whole time.
Yeah, she's like, that's not gonna do shit to me. And then he just shoots her a bunch with these holy water bullets.
And all the while, and she keeps switching between like, please, Father, you need to listen. Like as the woman being like, you need to listen to them this. Yeah, they're gonna hurt me and stuff like that. And then
please listen to them. You have to help me. And then she'll switch and be like, oh, we're gonna kill her. You can't stop us.
Yeah. And then we'll kill somebody else. And then we'll keep coming until you give us what we want.
Yeah. I think it's like everyone you love in this town will we'll get them one by one. Like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's what you can do about it.
He takes her out. He doesn't want to do it, but he doesn't, have a choice. He carries the body away. Elena's like, he just shot that woman.
She's watching that lady.
In the confessional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Elena's hiding out in there. And that's when we get
baby boy.
Big baby. The baby comes back and it's not looking like a baby no more. It's awesome. It's like this is pure Lovecraft, I feel like, this baby.
Oh, it's the thing.
But I mean, it's like got a lot of I mean, it's just the thing about it I really liked is you could tell that a lot of it was practical.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It looked great. It looked great.
That's what I mean. They do it. I mean, obviously, this isn't a cheap show.
Yeah.
But they're good about knowing what to do when. Like, they could they have done like they're gonna force power the pew, to spin over and hit him or whatever. Could you have done that with CG? Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And it looks better because they didn't.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
That thing has such a visceral grossness to it that's just fantastic.
Like the mouth.
And in the second episode when Soleil cuts her mouth.
Oh God!
That effect looks super good.
That effect looked great.
I was watching that like this, like that.
It's awful.
That was hard for me.
Just the
and then just the
pressure. When you start to see it poke through from behind, yeah. Oh.
I love that the series makes me cringe, and it makes me cringe so hard. Like they don't skimp on when the horror comes. No. It's coming.
Yeah, that's the thing. When they do a real good job of like slow rolling the suspense and kind of the drama part of it, and then when it's time to get down, it's time to get down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think they're good about with that. I mean, it's I think it's we're again Elena and Paco and stuff. There are viewpoint characters, and they don't know any of this shit's real. And we as the audience kind of have to we know something's up with Father Vergara, but we don't know what.
Yeah.
And it's that first episode especially is really good about kind of keeping us where it wants us to be, because it's up until we see fucking 5 foot tall demon baby thing, we're like, yeah, maybe they did switch this. It's weird. It's not what we saw, but that makes sense.
It feels like there's
Father different kind of hasn't steered us wrong yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we get giant spider baby thing fight.
And it's not defeated. It's just scared off by Elena manipulating
she smashes the charm, the little ball. Yeah.
That was the thing I think that bothered me the most, was the fact that it just took off, and it just was like, how could you go to sleep at night knowing that
right.
Just out there?
Yeah, I would be still worried.
I think we do see it again later, but it's a while.
I was gonna say, I hope so. I hope they didn't just go, oh yeah, we don't.
No, I think we see it again, if I remember right. But yeah, I don't know how. I mean, the rest of the town doesn't know about it. But I don't see how Elena or Father Vergara just kind of. I mean, they don't go back to normal, but I would be like, this thing is like went into the sewer in my fucking town, like. And as we find out in episode 2, like it's a really cool location that they shot this, because it's like this cliff. And on the town is built right up to the edge of this cliff for most of it, and it's walled. So it's like a castle essentially, but inside the walls of this castle are a bunch of little houses and the town square and cafes and stuff. It's a keep. Yeah. And as we find out as the series progresses, like, it was built that way, and a lot of this, there's like all this stuff kind of underground that people don't use anymore. There's like paths and tunnels and stuff like that
in dungeons.
Yeah, so this thing goes into basically there's just a big graded over like well in the sacristy, the church, and it goes down through there, and we don't see it again.
Yeah.
And Father Vergara goes to Elena in the remains of the confessional and is still trying to be like,
yeah, you didn't see shit.
Yeah.
And
still like,
and she's like, I saw you shoot her. And he's like, oh, those were blanks.
Yep.
Because she was crazy, and I had to put the bullets in the holy water because she was so crazy that I couldn't have stopped her unless I met her on her level, and she believed that I believed what she believed.
It is elite level gaslighting.
It totally is
elite.
But yeah, it would be like if Scully believed every single thing and was just like, no, Mulder, you're an idiot.
God, you're dumb.
Aliens aren't real. It's just swamp gas.
Yeah.
In every single episode. But yeah, it is. I mean, anyway, yeah.
Does the episode end back on kind of like the village idiot character, or is that
Antonio.
episode 2?
That's episode 2.
The second episode ends on Antonio. I can't remember what the first episode ends on, but Antonio definitely knows. Like,
far more.
Yeah, and he's. Yeah. I can't remember what the first episode ends on. Oh, the first episode I think ends on Father Vergara asking Elena for the coin back.
Yes, and she says basically "fuck off."
And she's like, because she doesn't trust him, and she just repeats his words back to him and says, "Why? It's just a piece of old metal, isn't it?" And like leaves the church.
And then he's like, but yeah, so yeah, basically that's the first episode recapped. It's phenomenal. Everyone who's watching us right now, or or later, get a chance if you get a chance to watch this. Honestly, watch it. It's
really good.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah.
I also wanted
if that first episode doesn't grab you, I mean, the series won't. Because it comes out of the gate and shows you what it's going to do. And obviously, like any of these shows, they've got to choose where to spend their money. So you get a few, like, they're still really good, but like there's some episodes towards the middle of the first season where they're not going quite as hard on like monsters.
I thought the second episode did a really good job of going hard story-wise, but going, hey, we can save money here. That's what they were doing.
And the third episode too. I mean, but it's still like, okay, there's still some really cool, stuff happening here.
Well, they said that mouth thing is.
It's all beautifully shot, and the acting is top notch.
Also, I want to give a good shout out to the music. It reminds me of the music from Hellraiser 1 and 2. It's so gothic and beautiful, and
that theme song when it's like,
and that theme song is. It's
talking about the one where Jesus is laughing his ass off.
Yeah, the one where Jesus is he's in my mind he's laughing like Seth Rollins.
Better than him laughing like Seth Rogen.
What's Seth Rogen? I can't even do it.
But
that's true.
30 coins.
Pikachu's final form is me.
I'll be curious about
real quick season. Question I want to ask everybody before we wrap up.
Yeah,
sure. Where do you, and I'll ask you first, Matt, since you've got the whole first season under your belt. Where do you hope it goes? And then Colin, I kind of want to hear your.
I can't even say where I hope it goes without spoiling the first season. I don't want to do that.
Fair.
Ooh.
But man, where do you hope it goes?
I will be curious to hear. Okay, so I will pose a question. To you.
Okay.
You'll answer my question with a question. Are you gaslighting?
As we learn in the first 3 episodes, the people who want the coins do seem to be tied to the church in some fashion.
Yeah.
What do you think they want the coins for, and what do you think the coins can do?
I don't know, but my thought is like just going along with the fact that the Catholic Church is very much like a partial antagonist in this. It feels like I'm thinking they want to bring evil back mainstream so they can basically steer the masses back to the church. That's my guess.
I mean, yeah.
They're like, hey, remember when you were all fucking afraid and prayed and gave us money?
And is that where you hope it goes, or do you?
I'm right now. They have my trust to take it wherever they're going to take it until they lose my trust.
Where I hope it goes, a couple seasons down the line, we get a scene where we're in a dusky bar and the door's kicked open and wearing just a leather trench coat with no shirt on. It's Judas, and he cocks a shotgun and he's back. He's like, I'm ready to rock. And it's a whole redemption arc for Judas. Actually, I do want a redemption arc for Judas. I don't know why. I feel there's
I like both Big League Chew and Candy City.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
But I mean, yeah, it seems like what I think is going on. It does feel like whoever these red garbed priests that are shadow people in our world, it seems, but in the mirror world are which was wild. Yeah, it seems like what they want to do, like to piggyback off of Ben here, is like to kind of like, I don't know, it seems like maybe like destroy modern like faith to then reignite old faith. Yeah, like just like let's dismantle this, bring back the
give me that old time religion, baby.
Yeah, let's get some like fire and brimstone happening, and like Yeah,
that's what I took away from it was so I kind of felt
the kind of the Ozymandias thing. Like I'm gonna create a threat that's gonna make you do what I want.
Yeah.
And they fired that rocket 36 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's pretty wild though. Like I am, because it's like just from what little I've seen of those guys, like the red garbed priests or whatever, like I don't know yet, like are they like complete like supernatural entities, or were they mortal at one point, or are they age? Like there's so many questions I have right now that I'm sure I'll get caught up on. But ooh, what's this? Shadow Priest. Oh, Mitch.
Bizarro.
That's
Bizarro
my
Jesus.
answer. That's my answer.
Jesus doesn't have a beard. He's completely clean shaven. He's got short hair.
Oh yeah.
No.
That was a movie called The Seventh Sign, where he was played by Jürgen Prochnow. he was clean shaven, had a nice little corporate haircut, wearing a beautiful sweater.
It's a beautiful.
I hated that movie so much.
Well, where can people find you two beautiful men?
Hanging around here, obviously. We got prep school, I'm sure, right? Sunday. And
this Sunday, I've got batted games tomorrow night. If anyone wants to get in on that business.
What you doing?
I don't know. I just found out there's a big Spoopy game sale on Steam right now. Including a game made by Full Moon Features that has positive, mostly positive.
Charles Band was in there.
Charlie Band got in the video game business.
The Puppet Master video game isn't out yet, is it?
No, I don't think so. There's also a game. It's for $250 right now. It's up to 4 players, and it's basically Indiana Jones fights the Mummy. And I'm like, I kind of want to buy this game just to play it with my friends.
Yeah, I was planning on picking up a few games tomorrow, maybe too, because I think Fallout's got a sale going.
Maybe.
So yeah,
there's a lot of stuff on sale right now.
But yeah, and I think don't we have Tuesday a special Halloween edition we're doing?
Tuesday is a very special 31 and 31 part D.
Yeah. Cool.
Part D.
Were we doing 31 and 31 wrap up that night, or were we saving that for X5? Either way, we're gonna Spoopy Boy it up on Tuesday.
Yeah. We could do wrap up then, and
or we could just do Spoopy Mang.
Well, I've got this oldest horror trivia.
Let's do that.
Yeah. All right. I'm down. Maybe I can get Tony to be our moderator, and we can all go head to head. I love it. Yeah. So yeah, Spoopy horror trivia.
Do it like the VCR party guys did with their show where they answered Bible trivia with Rejuvenique electric face masks on. So whenever they got a question wrong, they got to shock each other in the face.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it, but I don't want to.
Or I'll eat something really disgusting, or maybe just have a Pocky one chip and then have a heart attack right on the stream.
But yes, you can find me on No World United most Sundays for prep school. You can find me on the Dave Wonder channel most Tuesdays when he's not at the Minnesota Zoo Pumpkin thing, or I'm not there for whatever reason. Doing Chop It Chop. And then Extra Life's coming up, so you can donate now.
Matt's running a game
for No World United. Extra Life, donate. And please join us. If you are interested in participating at all, let us know. Reach out to us. I think there's probably some open slot.
Like one slot left in Star Wars.
So
surprisingly enough, our Night of the Living Boomers filled up before Star Wars did.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I think I have lots of my Ravenloft game too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm running a couple games. I'm playing a couple. I gotta go through the list and sign up for stuff tomorrow or Saturday here to figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, I'm doing a Weird West horror game. one game where you're going to have dinner with George Lucas, and then another game where you're in Dark Place Hospital. And you got to find out why people's hands are falling off, and there's maggots, blood, and a little bit of
bits of sick.
Well, and now that we're I don't know how if you guys have gone down the road yet. We've got, I mean, definitely go through 30 coins first. But if you guys get hard into the Mountain Monsters and Big Feet's stuff,
I'm all the way caught up on Big Feet's.
I want to watch that show now
just because that stupid fucking podcast.
I know. I'm really into Mountain Monsters though. Like I started watching the fucking show actually, and it's a delight. Yeah. It's a delight. It is. I want
to play that as a game where it's like you never can actually see the monster or capture it or kill it. But
Big Feet's podcast is great. Thank you, Matt. For
yeah.
I would also, if you like that, check out the Dog Zone 9000 podcast. That's what that spun off from, and that's more just like we found a weird movie or a book or something. But Big Feet's is the only Mountain Monsters recap podcast.
Yes,
endorsed by Bigfoot himself.
All right,
Mountain Monsters being a Travel Channel Plus show.
Did you watch the Billiam? Did you watch the Billiam videos about it?
Yes, I've also gone down a Billiam's hole as well. He's got many fun.
Billiam's great. He has
wonderful.
multiple episodes on Ben 10, and that makes me real happy.
Although he's triggered me with some of his lost hot takes, because I love that show. And it's a mess, yeah, but you don't have to tell everyone it's a mess. Billiams, come on, buddy.
God. Thanks for hanging out with us, and watch 30 Coins. It's really good.
Yeah.
If you can donate, go to our Extra Life page. Donate. If you can't, all we ever ask is that you pump up the volume on the signal, that you let people know what we're trying to get accomplished, and that if you have the wherewithal to, that you join us. And you, if you want to play. If you don't, watch, hang out, have fun.
I actually, just before we go, I learned about 30 Coins from one of the Big Feet's guys on the Dog Zone podcast, because they had a thing years ago, and I want to say it was Jason Pargin, because it was each of them. It's like bring a thing that you love that you don't think anybody else really knows about, and I think 30 Coins is what he brought, and I checked it out based on that. And I'm like, oh, this is good. So anyway,
yeah. And thanks again for putting this on my. It's one of those things I'd seen, but I was like, I don't know what this is, and then
this is
Yeah, like, oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
We'll have to do another. I'll pop on again when you guys finish the first season. We can we can do a first kind of thoughts and feelings before we get into season 2.
Yeah,
and then pick that up as well. So
I think Matt, if you find another thing like that, maybe you're a TV guy. Maybe you're a spooky TV guy.
See what I can see what I find.
Also, both of you need to listen to that Prisoner podcast I told you about. It's only 6 episodes. It's so good.
What's the name of it?
I can't remember, but I can tell you. Give me a second.
Because it's got what? It's got Jonathan Hodgman on it, right?
Hodgman and another guy who was a writer on The Daily Show, whose name escapes me. It's called Be Potting You. And there are 5 episodes counting the trailer. And it's got Paul F. Tompkins doing the scatting the Prisoner theme song as the intro music and the outro music.
I love Paul F. Tompkins, man. He's
they're about like hour and a half long episodes, but they're very, very good. All right, thank you guys. Matt, thank you so much. Thank you, Chad.
Colin, thank you, Ben.
Yeah, guys, this is great.
From the future, past, present. Colin, you hit 31. I'm so proud of you.
Oh yeah.